since we got some just general knowledge on us as a group and on our product, we're going to start going into some data analysis. And first we're going to start with the NPS scores. Now the NPS score is actually for Central Michigan, not for the coupons, and so it's just kind of cool. It's a comparison that you can do to any company. It doesn't have to be the same industry. We don't have to compare ourselves to another college. We can compare ourselves to the big three in the auto industry, or we can compare ourselves to a small company. So what we put on there was the top 3 companies with the highest NPS scores. So USA Insurance is actually number 1 at 80%. Costco is number 2 at 78. Apple number 3 at 76. So we just gotta show the top 3 companies, and then we have Central there at 31. So it's actually not too bad, especially when we're looking at, the lowest one on there is HSBC Banking. It's kind of cool. It just gives us a little bit of placing, where are we? We have a positive score, definitely not one of those big top scores that we see, but still not a bad score. Definitely something we can work with. So now we're gonna go into satisfaction scores, which those are the 5 different attributes. Well, the 4 ones, and then overall satisfaction. So obviously right now we're definitely doing the best on availability. It's our largest strength. We have a 6.97 value on there, and right behind there is delivery method at 6.71. So we're definitely doing really well on those 2. But then as we go across the graph, our lowest score is a 5.84 on level of discount. So right now we know that we're definitely, our strengths are availability and delivery method, but our main weakness is level of discount. And so we need to find out what is important to the consumers and the customers and see if we're actually matching there. So that's going to bring us into our next table. And as we can see, we have the 4 attributes: their importance scores, their satisfaction scores from the previous slide, and then their improvement index. And as we can see, level of discount has the highest importance, as a 0.52. So comparing that to the satisfaction, that gives us the largest improvement index. And right behind there is delivery method, which has a 0.45 importance. And we have a little bit higher on the satisfaction, so we don't have as large of an improvement index. So what's good to note is that what's the most important to customers is actually what we're performing the weakest on. So that's definitely a big area that we need to improve on when it comes to those coupon books. So definitely, the coupons could only be given to maybe a 10%, a 20%, not something that the customers want. And also, it's good to note that availability and effort to find, they can have a lower importance, and we're performing pretty well on them, so we have a decent satisfaction score. So their improvement index is actually half of level of discount, which is the most important. So as a company, we would need to focus on level of discount and also kind of focus on delivery method, but definitely level of discount is what we need to improve on, because it's what is most important to our customers and is what we're performing the weakest on. So now that we're going to look into Van Westendorp, Van Westendorp is what gives us an ideal price range of what people would want to pay for our coupon book. So we have too cheap, good deal, expensive, not sure, and too expensive. So normally with Van Westendorp, it's not going to actually find an ideal price. We're kind of looking into a price range. So the sweet spot is going to be right between good deal and expensive. And it's also good to know that for Van Westendorp, you can either use means or medians, but we decided to go with medians because of the extreme standard deviations that we got with means. When we were looking at, for example, for too cheap, their standard deviation was around 5.6. That means that 68% of the values were between negative 0.4 and 10.6. Definitely, it's not practical. It doesn't make sense, for example, and it just means there's way too many differing opinions on it. So the median is a much better value to choose because it helps eliminate those extremes because it's a more stable number. So looking back on the Van Westendorp, we decided that an ideal sweet spot for price would be in between 20 and 25. Now it comes to the waterfall graph. We did one for a good deal because we wanted to see what consumers would think would be a good deal and how much they'd be willing to pay. Now waterfall graphs help show you at each point how many of the consumers are still willing to pay for that good deal. So if you look at the very first one, if we're at $0, 100% people would still take that. So that obviously makes a lot of sense. So as we go across the graph, it's good to note that in between 5 and 7, we have a drop between about 95% and maybe 82%. And that starts to cruise along until 10, and then we see a substantial drop between 10 and 15. 10's a little bit above 80 there, and drops to 15, which is about 62, 63. As we go across again, we see 20. 20 is actually at 52, 53%, and it drops all the way down to 25, which is at 35.6%. So it's definitely important to note that in between 20 and 25, we're losing about 18% of the people there. So going back to Van Westendorp, where our price range was between 20 and 25, we definitely want to stick more towards the lower end. So we kind of recommend a price of 20 for the coupon books. And that's already what they're paying now, and I think that works perfectly, because if we go any higher, close to 25, we're going to start seeing a large drop in our customers who'd be willing to buy it for a good deal. So now we're going to move on to attribute importance, and we want to find what is important. So as we looked at before, level of discount is what's most important. So this is actually a conjoint analysis. So all three of these values add up to 100, and it's nice because we have it in a ranked order what's important. So we look at level of discount, that's what's most important. Behind that is delivery method, and then finally the type of coupon. So in the mind of the consumers, definitely the level of discount is what is most important. So consumers are going to care more about how much % they're getting off than what the method is, or even what type of coupon it is, which definitely makes sense because a lot of our consumers are definitely be more price sensitive, and they're going to be more wanting a good discount as opposed to how they're going to get it. So now we're going to have the different levels of discount. This is definitely, I think, a good, practical, and easy way to look at conjoint analysis. As we can tell, obviously people prefer 35% to 20%, and obviously they're going to prefer 50% off to either 20 or 35%. Now, I think what's most important to take away is that buy one, get one free as opposed to 50%. 50% is much more important. People care a lot more about 50%. It has more than twice the score of buy one, get one. I think that's definitely the most interesting thing to take away, because I know a lot of times you see in stores that's buy one, get two free, buy two, get one free, buy one, get one free. I think that's definitely the most important and interesting to take away, is that people like straight discounts. They prefer the 50% to buy one, get one, because it's a lot easier to think of. You can easily think, hey, I'm getting this product for half the price. I believe that people probably chose 50% over buy one, get one for that reason. So now we go into the second. We're going to look at delivery method. So we have swipe cards, internet, paperbook, and cell phone. Now what's important to know about the delivery method is that people care a lot less about it, as opposed to our first one, which was discounts. So as we can see, cell phone is the most important for the delivery method. So that's interesting to think about, because we're using a paper book right now that has coupons in it, which came in second, and it's only a little bit behind cell phone, but people definitely feel that cell phones are the more preferred delivery method. This definitely probably relates to convenience. It's a lot easier. You don't have to carry a book around. You can just have your phone, which we always all have on us. I think the good thing to take away about this is that as we're developing further products when it comes to coupons, definitely look at maybe a more cell phone approach. So now the third most important attribute is the type of coupon. We have three different categories. We have entertainment, retail services, and restaurants. So definitely restaurants has the largest per preference level, definitely when it comes to retail services or entertainment. People prefer the restaurant coupons. That's a good thing to take away. So when we are developing these coupon books, it definitely would be good to focus on our food services, our fast food, our sit-downs. People definitely care more about restaurant coupons. So it's definitely interesting to take away is that retail, not much preference either way. People don't really prefer having entertainment discounts. So definitely when you're developing the coupon book, it'll be most important to focus on restaurants. We're going to want good restaurants in there to bring people in. People prefer restaurants as opposed to retail and entertainment. Right, so now we're going to get to the summary slide. We're going to bring everything together, try to choose an ideal method and what way we should go when it comes to the coupon books. So we found that level of discount is the most important attribute, and as we noted earlier, it's definitely an interesting thing because we are performing the worst when it comes to level of discount, and it's what's most important to the consumers. We have the largest improvement index, and that's definitely something that we're going to have to look forward to as we go on to create further coupon books. We're not going to want those 10%, 20%, 25%. We're going to go straight for the 50%. So after our Van Westendorp data analysis, we found that an ideal price is $20. And this was because our price range was between $20 and $25. And also when we looked at our waterfall graph for good deals, there was a significantly large drop when we went from 20 to 25. I mean, the exact numbers were 53.7% to 35.6%. That's an 18.1% drop when you're moving from 20 to 25. So if we stick at $20, we should be able to capture at least 53.7% of the good deal market. Now our next point we want to look at is that 50% is the most preferred discount level. This definitely made the most sense. consumers are going to prefer the larger discount when it was 50% compared to 35 or 20%. Now, the most important thing we need to take away is that 50% had more than twice the amount of preference level than BOGO. Something that's definitely important is that we see all the time coupons are buy one, get one, buy one, get one. Consumers, they're not going to want that. They want 50%, they want the straight discount. They want to feel like that they were saving money, not that they had to buy extra stuff to get this discounted value. Now, cell phones are the most preferred delivery method. I think this is actually the most important point to take away. Currently, we are using paper books that have coupons in them, and cell phones are the more preferred delivery method. I think this is definitely a really easy way that we could integrate cell phones. There could be, a code on there that you can text to, and then you can get that code sent to your phone, so you don't have to carry around this book when you're going out. You're always going to have your phone with you. So I think looking forward, definitely we can probably start developing maybe a mobile version of the coupon book, or make it complete cell phone. So you can just look it up on your phone, and then you have the code right in front of you. I know right now, like Target does that with Cartwheel. You look up, you get random coupons sent here, you can look up what type of coupons that you want, what type of coupons that you need, and then when it comes to checkout, you hand them your phone and they scan it. Finally, we found out that restaurants was the most preferred type of coupons. This definitely blew retail service and entertainment out of the water. Restaurant is what people want. They want to save money when they go out to eat. I think that's the important thing to take away, is that instead of having all these different types of coupons, we should just put restaurant ones in there. People prefer the restaurant coupons. So now, as a consulting firm, we want to kind of show a comparison between what we currently have as a product and what the customers kind of wanted to see. So we're going to have some recommendations for what we should go forward with. So we're going to compare what we have to what we need. So we both have 50% off coupons in both areas. The paper book has all half off, and that's what the consumers want. They don't want the 20%, they don't want the 35%, they don't want the buy one get one. They want 50% off coupons. That's good, that's what we're doing, so we're succeeding right there. So right now we have a paper book, and actually when we conducted the conjoint analysis, we found that cell phones were actually the preferred delivery method. So it's going to be kind of a cool way, that we should definitely start going more towards down the cell phone route. Now remember that paper books were just a little bit far behind, so if cell phones ended up being cost too much, not bringing us enough revenue, paper books would still be a good route to go. And then finally, we have right now a variety of places in the metro area, some that the 20-some-year-olds don't know about, and we definitely need restaurants. Restaurants are what people wanted. People didn't want retail services, and they definitely didn't want entertainment. Restaurants is where it's at. So that's just kind of some recommendations we want to go from there. Definitely right now we have the 50% off coupons, but we might want to go in more of a cell phone delivery method, and we want to focus on restaurants. We don't want a variety. So that concludes this consulting from Team Research Improvement.